Hello everyone, welcome to our third week. Today we are going to talk about the third branch of Ashtanga Yoga, which is asana. Asana means posture or pose. So you'll notice that the end of all the Sanskrit names that we give for the different postures end in asana. So Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Utkatasana, Uttanasana, they all end in asana. So although they're a huge mouthful, when you break it into the root word, they're not actually too bad. So I have just a few things to talk about, the intro of class. So if you would like to go ahead and make yourself comfortable, find a comfortable seated position and begin to work on that Ujjayi breath. Maybe be thinking about your intention for today's class while I talk. That would be great. You're even welcome to close your eyes if you would like. Two things that we want to talk about with asana, and that is that yoga is a moving meditation. So I think the reason why when people think about yoga, they think about the physical practice is because the physical practice is such a powerful anchor for us to help us be in the moment, living our lives. And I think that's why exercise in general is so helpful when we're stressed or need more energy. I think that there's that mental component that when we are exercising and moving, we're more likely to be in the present, which means we're not stressing, we're not worrying as much at least. If you would like for your intention today, you're welcome to have it be something like, I am a graceful meditator, or I am meditating with every movement. I meditate with every movement. But if you have a positive statement already in mind, by all means go with that. Because as with yoga, as with any form of meditation, the more personal you make it, the more it's going to help you. So that's always encouraged if you can think of a creative way to make it your own, even if it's totally different than what I'm suggesting. So the other thing we want to talk about with asana is the energetics of each posture. I'll start off, maybe just review the bandhas really quick. So bandhas in this class, I've really focused on how they are muscle areas that we engage. They're not really specific muscle areas, although I'll cue specific muscles. They're technically energy centers in the body. But I like to focus on how they help with our alignment and engage the muscles to help with your alignment. That's like my focus for our class. But if you're curious, you should probably know that there's a whole yoga philosophy behind the bandhas that ties them into the chakras. And so it's this idea that the three bandhas, like your throat, the navel, and the pelvic floor, kind of line up with different areas in your chakra center. And this idea is that throughout class, you're like stretching out places where maybe energy was stuck. Maybe muscles were tense, but you also want to keep that energy circulating throughout your body. And so that's why they have you tuck your chin from an energy standpoint, because it's like you're pulling this energy up and then sending it back down. And then you engage through the pelvic floor and the navel, and you're sending the energy back up. So it's this idea that we're like building energy, building, heat throughout practice. And take it with a grain of salt. You can read into that as much as you like. I just think it's kind of a cool visualization, because I do find that when I kind of imagine the energy, that it reminds me to engage my whole body, which does help me feel energized by the end of class. And so something kind of cool to think about. And along with this idea of the energetic aspect of yoga is that when you think about lines of energy, like where you're reaching, it's going to also help your alignment. So for example, when we're in chair pose, we're thinking about the arms reaching up, but we're also thinking about the feet pressing down. We're imagining arms and legs reaching away from each other. And if we do that, we're more likely to be pulling our shoulders down into their sockets, reaching the fingers up engaging the full back, engaging the legs because those feet are pressing into the mat. So we're more likely thinking about the energetics of a posture to also be engaging and aware of our stabilizing muscles, or our anchors a lot of the times, like the feet or wherever you're rooted to the ground. And so that's cool, a cool thing to think about. You'll also feel that come into play today when we're sitting and doing a lot of our forward stretches. Like sometimes we'll have one knee up and be pressing into that foot and lengthening through the other leg. And even though our main focus is on the arms reaching and folding, our energetics are, front and back, side to side, we're still thinking about pressing through that foot and lengthening through that leg, even though they're not primary movers. So I'll cue you guys when you get to it, but it's really cool to think about. You'll also find this come into play in like Warrior 2, where your arms are lengthening away from each other. And then the feet as well are lengthening side to side. They're not moving, but they're pressing down into the ground as if you could rip your mat apart. And you'll just find that visualizing that will help you engage the whole legs, like the whole lower body. So something cool to think about. My alignment definitely improved when I started thinking about the energetics of postures. And even if I don't cue it, you can be thinking about it. If you're like, oh, this doesn't feel right, first think, okay, are my bandhas engaged for this posture that I think I would need to engage? And then the second thing you think about are, what are the energetics of this posture? Where am I lengthening? Is it up and down? Is it side to side? Am I taking a twist and maybe lengthening out and then maybe lengthening up because of the twist? So yeah, it's pretty helpful. So maybe be thinking about that today. Hopefully you all have your intention in mind by now. I'm sorry this was kind of a long intro, but let's go ahead and get right to practice. Let's take a few more deep Ujjayi breaths. Maybe one hand on the heart, one on the navel, to feel the stomach and chest filling with air, and letting air out. Perhaps take a moment to say your intention in your mind a few times as you breathe. Now opening your eyes, inhale, modified cat-cow here, tucking the chin on the exhale, lifting the chin on the inhale. Nice neck and back stretch here. Call this our modified Vinyasa or seated cat-cow. And now rocking the neck side to side. Think of lengthening through your neck. So we're not crunching through any vertebrae, we're rather lengthening through the muscles that support your skeletal structure in your neck. Just lengthening shoulder to shoulder. Taking some gentle back circles, continuing to warm up the back and shoulders all the way around. We're taking a little extra time on these today because we're doing our float through workshop, which takes a lot of back and shoulder engagement. And reversing directions if you haven't already. Coming all the way back to center. Go ahead and make your way up to the top of your mat for our sun salutations, 3 of each. Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, fold all the air out. Inhale, half fold and lengthen. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. 3 to 5 deep breaths. Keep that Ujjayi breath with you. Inhale, step or jump forward. Half fold as you lengthen. Exhale, fold all the air out. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Let's do 2 more. Thinking about energetics now. Inhale, lengthen, arms reaching away from feet. Exhale, fold, tailbone reaching up, neck reaching out. Step or jump back, Chaturanga, lengthening forward in upward dog, lengthening back in downward dog. Pressing up through the tailbone, pressing down through the palms and fingers, down through the feet and heels. Nice energetics up and down and downward dog. Inhale, step or jump forward, half lift. Exhale, fold all the air out. Inhale, drink in that breath. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And breathe. Inhale, step or jump forward, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Transitioning now to Surya Namaskar B. Going to do 3 of our sun salutation B. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half fold. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Inhale, right foot, Virabhadrasana A. Energetics up and down. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Inhale, left foot forward, reaching through the fingertips, broadening through the shoulders, stamping through their feet. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now holding 3 to 5 deep breaths. Inhale, step or jump forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana. Kind of making a K with our body in chair pose. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step or jump back, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, right foot, Virabhadrasana A. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, other foot, Virabhadrasana A, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. And breathe. Inhale, step or jump forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samastiti. Last one. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, Virabhadrasana A. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, left foot, Virabhadrasana A. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, heart lengthening forward, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, hips lengthening back, Adho Mukha. And hold. Deepen that breath. Inhale, step or jump forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samastiti. Beautiful. Nice job, everyone. Now we're nice and warm. Option to use a block if you have it. Preparing for triangle pose, Trikonasana on the right side. Working on stacking those shoulders, one atop the other. Just making sure you have an anchor somewhere for that hand, be it the foot, your mat, or a block. And breathe. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, swivel the feet, point the toes to the other direction and other side. Energetics of this pose are up and down, reaching through that arm, looking up through your gaze towards those upturned fingertips, stamping down through the foot, through both feet. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, release. Squaring the hips to the front of your mat now, widening the stance like feet on a train track to help with balance. Exhale to twist, option to use a block. Plant that hand on the inside of the foot, or if you want the most intense variation, foot is going to be on the outside of your foot by your pinky toe. In all these variations, we're still working on stacking the shoulders, lengthening through the back of your neck, and then twisting. We always want to first create length and then sink into the twist. Inhale all the way up, square the hips to the back of your mat. Preparing for the twist on the other side. Picking the variation that's right for you, working on stacking those shoulders. Energetics of these twists are up and down, reaching through the arms, stamping through the feet, and also side to side because you're lengthening through the back of your neck and tailbone, creating space as you sink into the twist. Inhale all the way up, hands on the waist, widen that stance. Grab a block if you like for your head. Exhale, fold, hinging from the hips, tucking the stomach in, Uddiyana Bandha, working on lengthening the head towards your mat. You're welcome to bend the knees a little if you'd like to see how that feels, touching the head to your mat and pressing through the hands. And breathe. Inhale, come up halfway, stay, hands on the waist, exhale. Inhale all the way up. Walk the feet in. Now sitting back for Utkatasana, thinking about alignment here. Core is tucked in, Uddiyana Bandha pulling up through the lower navel, Mula Bandha pulling up through the pelvic floor, making sure the knees don't go past the toes, and breathe. Such a strong pose here. Inhale all the way up, exhale, release. We're now going to take Warrior 1 and 2, Virabhadrasana A and B on each side. So squaring the hips forward, check your alignment, holding Warrior 1 for several breaths. Warrior 1 and 2, where the knee is bent and we're just holding, is so good to strengthen those muscles around the knees, protect the knee joint, or recovering from knee injury. Open the arms and hips now for Warrior 2. Lift the palms to the ceiling, feel engagement through your lower mid trapezius muscles, and through that back you'll feel that engagement through the shoulders. Now place the palms back down, see if you can keep that engagement, trying to stack arms right above the legs. Hips are open, nice long line of energy here, front and back. Exhale, fold. I'm going to show you 3 levels for the next one. Level 1, in our lower lunge, arm is pressing into the thigh, other arm is reaching. Level 2, hand comes down to the ground. Level 3, maybe I take the bind. I wrap my arms around that leg, grab hands or wrists behind your back. And an extra bonus challenge, if you want, you can walk that back leg forward, shift weight into the back leg, lift the right leg, and then work on straightening the leg. This is called Bird of Paradise. Make sure you're broadening through your shoulders here. You're not just dumping into that shoulder joint. The whole back and shoulder muscles are engaged, helping that joint carry the leg. Now exhale all the way down, unwinding just like we came into it. Coming slowly all the way back to Warrior 2. Nice job, everyone. This is one of 3 balance poses we're going to explore today. Go ahead, coming to the other side. Let's find Warrior 1 and breathe. The lower you go, the more that leg might burn. That's okay. We're strengthening those thigh muscles. Remember, you want that knee right above the ankle to protect the knee and be strengthening the muscles around the knee. Now open up to Warrior 2. Lift those palms to the ceiling, feel that engagement through your back. Place the palms back down, keeping the engagement. Such nice long lines of energy reaching through the arms. Exhale, fold, level 1. Nice long lane of energy from the base of the foot out through the fingertips. Level 2, hand to the ground. Level 3, taking the bind. And then maybe adding the balance if you decide. Bird of Paradise on the other side. Working on straightening that leg once you're up. Remember to find a Drisdi focal point or gaze point to act as an anchor to help you balance. So good. Exhale, coming slowly all the way down. Plant that hand. Carefully unfolding. Arms up. And all the way back to Warrior 2. And release. Beautiful little sequence there. Nice job, everyone. Coming back to the front of your mat, let's take some nice shoulder rolls. Further warming up the shoulders. Shrugging those shoulders back. Now shrugging those shoulders forward. Now for our next 2 balancing postures, I'm going to show you 3 levels. So you can take them standing if you're feeling up to balancing, or you're welcome to take them seated to get the same stretch without worrying about the balance. So just showing you really quick. If you're taking level 1, you're going to do figure 4 stretch and lean towards that bent leg to get a nice stretch through the glute. Level 2, you're going to take standing, Finding figure 4 standing, and then pull the core in and sit back into a chair pose. Level 3 is the most intense. You can either use a small hand towel as a strap, or if you have a yoga strap for your mat, you can wrap that around the toes. Rest the foot in the crease of your hip. Bring that right hand around and back. Grab the strap or grab your toes. Other arm comes up and reaches. Exhale to fold. Full variation, hand is by the foot. But if you have a block, you can also have hand pressing into the block. If you have a block, I recommend trying this for the first time because it just makes all the dynamics a little bit easier. And find that Drizdi gaze. Drizdi should be right by that pinky toe, looking down to the ground. So hopefully everyone knows what level 1, 2, or 3 feels right for them today. Go ahead and make your way into the position that feels right for you. And make sure you get a few breaths holding wherever you're at. This is Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana, half-bound lotus. Exhale, slowly coming up and release. Roll out that ankle. Now let's do the same thing on the other side. You're welcome to stay seated if you're already seated. Bring that other leg up into the hip crease. Swim that arm around. Using a hand towel or strap, or maybe just the hands grabbing onto the foot or toe. Inhale with the opposite arm, lengthening up. Exhale to fold. Make contact with that hand into a block or the ground. Find a Drizdi gaze point by that pinky toe. And breathe. Energetics are up and down, squeezing into that leg. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, release. Roll that ankle out. And if you're already sitting, you're welcome to stay seated for this next pose to stretch the arms and shoulders. Just a comfortable cross-leg position. If you're standing, go ahead and just square the feet under the hips. Inhale, arms forward, reaching, clasp fingers in the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold, hinging from the hips. Remember to soften the knees to keep from getting lightheaded. And allow the shoulder blades to broaden, shoulder heads to rotate forward. Nice, comfortable stretch forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, release. Our next and last balancing posture, showing you one more time, you can take this seated. Level 1 is cow face pose. I'm stacking the knees one atop another. Here's half lotus, here's cow face. So cow face knees are stacked right above each other. And you can see the right leg is on top, the right arm is going to be on top also. So I wrap the arms around, eagle arms. That's level 1. Level 2 is going into eagle pose, Garudasana, but those toes are still pressing into my mat, helping me balance. Level 3, full eagle pose, right leg wraps around the left, right arm wraps around the left arm, legs and arms are squeezing into each other, isometric resistance here. So energy pushing in, arms and legs pushing into each other, and lengthening through the neck and tailbone as I sit back into chair pose. And breathe here. This is as intense as you want it to be, depending on how tight you squeeze those arms and legs into one another. Exhale, release. Shake it out. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Wrapping that leg around, left leg over, left arm over, palms pressing into each other as we sit back and breathe. Squeezing arms and legs. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, release. Beautiful job balancing, everyone. If you are sitting, go ahead and come up to standing now. And join us as we take some nice arm circles. When we finish these circles, we'll do a little vinyasa. Vinyasa means to place in a certain way and refers to repetitive choreography where one is fluidly moving with each inhale or exhale instead of holding. So a little vinyasa here. Inhale the arms up, exhale, fold. Use our vinyasas to help transition, among other things. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, find downward dog. Inhale, walk the feet forward, cross the ankles, sit down, extend the legs. Okay, so that is level 1 for doing a jump through or a float through. Engaging the core as you just walk the legs through and sit down. Inhale, lengthen the arms. Exhale to fold, lengthening forward as far as you can. Then rounding the spine, grabbing the knees or the toes or sides of the feet. We're going to slowly work our way up to more intense float through vinyasas. But taking this nice forward fold first and breathe. Generally, we do a little vinyasa. It's kind of like a little piece of the sun salutation in between every seated posture to keep the heart rate up and to stretch out, keep blood flowing to the arms and legs. Go ahead and plant the hands, lift the feet, pull the feet in. This is our jump back. Press through the feet, walk the feet back. Take a chaturanga. So that's our jump back. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, hips back. Now for our jump through. Look forward, walk the feet forward. Slide the feet through. And you can just sit down if you'd like, or you can work on keeping that core up as you slide through to make it more intense. Take a second to catch your breath while I show you really quick a fun workshop you can do outside of class. Put on some socks and get on a slickery floor, and you'll be able to slide the feet through and back. This is a great way to practice your jump throughs and your jump backs, or your float throughs and float backs. Eventually you want to be able to jump through and back without the feet touching. So these socks being able to slide through can give you a good sense for how that's going to feel and how much of your core you need to engage. If your arms are short, you'll need to lift the hips higher to be able to float them through, and you do need leg strength to be able to pull the knees in close enough. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you can give this a try outside of class. And now back to our class. This is Janusirsasana A. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold as far as you can with a long spine, and then letting the upper spine round. Remember, you can use that strap, or you can grab on the leg, or you can just be lengthening. Sometimes just lengthening and not grabbing could feel like a better stretch for the back, especially if you have tight hamstrings. Remember to listen to your back. These forward folds, if they start to hurt your back, that might mean you need to back it off and tuck the core in to protect the back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release. Let's take a jump back. Plant the hands, lift the hips, lift the feet if you can. We're going to take a little modified here. So that's modified jump back. Now we take modified. Inhale, that's like our upward dog. Exhale, round. That's like our downward dog. We do 2 of those. So if we're ever doing a vinyasa jump through and jump back and you need a second to catch your breath, take the modified. All right, let's do the other side. Left foot pressing in to the thigh. And reach. Now thinking about energetics here, that foot is stamping down, other foot is lengthening and flexed. Tailbone is lengthening, core is pushed in, pulling back, helping you lengthen back as you lengthen forward through the neck. You could visualize a nice long line of energy from the front to the back of your mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release. Let's take a full vinyasa now. And I'm just going to show you real quick, if you have access to blocks or stacks of textbooks, perhaps, this makes these a lot easier. You can press into those and this can help you lift the feet and jump back. Be sure if you use the blocks that you don't go too low, because that can hurt the shoulders. And exhale back, look forward. You're going to jump and float the feet right through. So eventually that's what we're going for. We walk the feet through until we have the strength. but eventually we're able to float them through without the blocks. I myself am still working on it. Most people, this is quite advanced and takes a few years to master this transition. So, you build more strength by walking the feet through, pulling the core in, than just jumping through, and possibly stubbing the toes if you're not quite ready, or if you don't have access to blocks. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, reaching forward. Either you're just lengthening, maybe grabbing the foot, or maybe using a strap. Or maybe taking it to the next level, swimming the arms around for a bind. Just grabbing wrist or grabbing hand in the back. Remember, we're not only pressing through that right leg with the right sit bone lifted, we're also lengthening and flexing that straight leg. Inhale up. Let's take a modified vinyasa. Pull the legs in, press through the hands, lift the tailbone. I'm going to show you how you can use the blocks for even the modified. Lift the tailbone, maybe also lift the feet. That would be like our jump back. Now inhale and exhale, rounding the spine. These vinyasas help for so many things. They help us stretch out in between postures. They help us transition. Help us keep the heart rate up, keep the blood flowing. Exhale to the other side. Maybe take the bind. These vinyasas also help us build a lot of arm and core strength. They're kind of a signature aspect of Ashtanga yoga. Inhale up. Pull the feet in, lift the feet, plant the hands, lift the tailbone, pull the core up, walk the feet or jump the feet back. Chaturanga, inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, walk or jump those feet forward, slide them through. And now taking the same posture, Marichyasana, but another variation, we're twisting the opposite direction. So my left arm is pressing into my left leg, looking over the right shoulder, or taking it to the next level and grabbing arms behind my back in the bind. Sometimes I get a better twist and stretch at level 1. So remember these different levels, one's not better than the other. You just try both and pick the one that feels like a better stretch for you. Bring the legs in. Inhale, lift the tailbone. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, tuck the chin. And switching to the other side. And a quick note on binds. Taking a bind, if you can reach, allows the body to relax. It allows you to hold a pose for longer, and it can allow you to go deeper into a posture. So these are benefits to binds if you happen to be able to reach. If you can't reach, it might be you can be reaching towards the bind, even if just fingers are touching, or it might feel better to take a different variation if you really want to focus on getting that twist and lengthen through the spine. All right, let's go ahead and take a vinyasa. Plant the hands, lift the hips, step or jump back. Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Inhale, step or jump those feet all the way through. Keeping the body nice and warm to prevent injury with these vinyasas. Also help us transition gracefully and build strength. All right, let's go ahead and take half lotus now, this half lotus we've been working on. And take a moment now to recenter yourself. Find that Ujjayi breath if you've forgotten, if you let it go. Hopefully you've been breathing Ujjayi throughout the whole class, but sometimes we forget. So find that breath again if you need. And go ahead and switch sides. Oh, this next one is called Fire Log Pose. Legs are stacked right above the other. If you have any knee issues, I would recommend taking Figure 4 pose instead. But Fire Log, legs are right above the other. Be very mindful of the knees. You don't want the knees to be twisting. So I'm just showing you really quick with the knees. This is an open knee joint. This is a closed knee joint. Anytime where there's potential for twisting, we want the knee joint closed. If the hips are too tight, it's going to cause too much strain on that knee. So that's why you might want to take figure 4. But if this feels fine, stacking the legs one above the other like fire logs, go ahead and take this pose and breathe. You could also remember your intention, perhaps. And go ahead, switch legs. Let's take half lotus on the other side and breathe. We've given our shoulders and arms a lot of love today, also giving our hips a lot of love. This will feel great if you've been sitting and studying or working at a desk. Now find fire log or figure 4 pose on the other side and breathe. With each exhale, just trying to relax into those places that are tight in that hip and leg. You don't want to be forcing anything, you just want to be softening into the stretch with every breath. And go ahead and release. Flex those feet. Let some blood flow back in the legs. Plant the hands behind you. And we're going to press up into tabletop pose. Lengthening through the neck. Careful not to just let that neck hang behind you, but lengthening through the back of the neck. Strong core. Imagine making a nice flat table with your body. Knees right above ankles, shoulders right above wrists. Exhale, come all the way down. Tabletop is a nice variation of back bend if you don't want to do full back bend later on in class, as well as bridge for wonderful variations. Now go ahead and bring the right leg in. We're going to take that balancing pose once more, but seated. Half bound lotus. So if you didn't have the chance to take it while we were standing, option to take it now. And see if you can fit that foot right into the hip crease. Maybe grab the foot. Maybe you're just reaching towards the foot as you fold. If you can't quite grab the toes, totally okay. Doing this posture enough in a seated form makes it so eventually you can do it standing. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, release. And taking it on the other side. Once you have that nice bind in place, your inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. I always like to think of lengthening before I fold, tucking that core in, and breathe. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, release. And let's take a vinyasa. Plant the hands, pull the feet up, pull up, tuck up and into the core as you jump back. Take a chaturanga, upward dog and downward dog. For these jump through and jump back, the more you can pull the core up and in, the easier it'll be to jump through. Now stretching the legs out for Upavishta Konasana. Nice forward fold with the legs wide. You can grab sides of the feet, or you're welcome to reach the arms out in front of you. Whatever feels best. Getting a few nice deep breaths here. And coming all the way back up to center. So good. Beautiful work, everyone. That was our last vinyasa. Let's go ahead and cross the legs, roll over the feet. This is another modification option if you don't ever fill up to a full vinyasa. And let's pause here and take a few cat-cow stretches. Take some time now to give some love to whatever part of your spine is needing it most. You'll find your yoga needs change from day to day, so you always want to be responding to what your body needs in that day. If it needs more intense or if it needs you to be gentle. Go ahead, lift the right arm up now. This next one is for our neck and shoulder. I'm showing you on the left side first so you can see. So go ahead and lift that left arm, thread it through, and my right arm is pressing into the mat to help me twist deeper. It's also pressing into the mat to keep the pressure off the neck. So that neck and head can just be lightly resting and the arm can be taking as much weight as it needs to off the neck. Inhale, arm up. Exhale. We're going to do a little bit of core work now. Bringing elbow and knee towards each other as you exhale, extending on the inhale. Inhale, reach, exhale, extend, really pulling the core up and in. We're going to do at least 10 of these on each side. Strong core means strong back, means good posture, good alignment. And breathe. You can go a little bit faster or slower than me. Just make sure you get in at least 10. And switching to the other side, lifting that right arm up, threading it through, finding this wonderful upper spine, thoracic spine twist. And opposite arm pressing into the mat to take that weight off your neck. This can feel so good if you carry tension and stress in the neck and shoulders. Inhale, coming up. And doing that little core work on the other side. Lengthening and pulling in with every breath, moving with our breath. Technically, this could be called a Vinyasa because we're moving with each inhale and exhale. But this is also a Pilates move, if any of you are familiar with that. Pilates and yoga kind of go hand in hand. Pilates actually borrowed a lot from yoga, interestingly enough. All right, coming back, sitting back over the feet, a little modified instead of doing a jump through because we're winding down here. Let's point and flex the toes. I'm going to introduce a few new inversions today. So I'm also going to show you guys modified and safe ways to do these inversions. Take a look at this picture of shoulder stand to get yourself a few ideas for how you may want to modify. Notice how I'm placing a blanket right under the shoulders and the neck is hanging off. This is a wonderful, wonderful suggestion to take some of that pressure off the natural curve of your neck. Your neck has a natural curve to it, as does your lower back, and some of these inversions can put a lot of strain on that natural curve. So with our neck, what we suggest doing is if you have access to a blanket, place it under the shoulders and let the neck hang off the back. This can allow you, if you want to try for a vertical shoulder stand to get those hips right above the shoulders, it can allow you to do so without hurting the neck. And then for the lower back, what we recommend is in plow pose, when the feet come down behind you. What we recommend is lengthening up through the tailbone, pulling the core in to make sure that you're conscious of that nice little lower curve in your back. And if you experience any back pain in plow pose, that can be why. So paying attention to the core, paying attention to a strong back, helping you lengthen to support that spine can help in plow pose. So both of these things will really make a big difference. And I'm just showing in these pictures as well that when you go into plow, you do not have to let the feet come all the way back behind you. The goal is eventually that the feet will come behind you and touch the back behind you. But you also have the option with both plow pose and shoulder stand to just go halfway and keep the weight in the backs of the arms completely and have the arms supporting the hips. You know, if that seems like a better option for you for your neck, you can just keep that back and neck flat and be working on strengthening the core, strengthening the legs and the arms by just going halfway. So that is highly recommended if you have any neck issues or back issues. Sometimes if people already have had like a back injury, you don't really want to be going all the way into these inversions because it can create a lot of strain on those vertebrae. But the more you engage your core and back and the stronger those muscles are, the more it will protect those areas. So you do also have the option to take the legs up the wall that we've done in previous classes and the legs down and up to strengthen the core instead. Or I'm going to show you another variation you can take just seated, some cat-cows to stretch the neck if you like. So something else you can try, in addition to the legs up the wall and that core work, is tucking the chin and looking up and doing some of those modified cat-cow postures. When you have that chin tucked into the chest and you're rounding through the shoulders, that's a very similar stretch to what it's going to be on the neck when you're in plow pose or shoulder stand. So if you still want to get that nice little stretch in the neck, but you don't want to go all the way, you can take this and just see how that feels in your neck to maybe test it first and see if it might be right for you or not. Let's go ahead and come to the top of our mats and roll all the way down. We can all do bridge before you pick your variations. So lifting those hips up, pressing through the shoulders and arms, pressing through the feet. Make sure those toes are pointing forward. My toes are pointing out a little bit, which feels normal, but the more those toes are pointing forward, the more the stretch is in the legs and not the lower back. The more the glutes can engage. So exhale, lowering down. Now let's hug the knees into the chest. This is like a forward fold on our back, rocking side to side. Nice little counter pose for our bridge. And now go ahead and go into legs up the wall. Or take a few of those legs down and up. Or if it feels right for you, get that blanket ready. And go up into shoulder stand. Hands can be on the hips like I was showing earlier. You can just take it halfway. This is a nice option if you don't have a blanket, or you can work on slowly working the hips towards the shoulders. If you don't have a blanket, I would recommend not taking the hips too close to the shoulders, but we're working on squeezing through the legs squeezing together, arms pressing into your mat, shoulders pressing to protect the neck. And then slowly letting those legs come behind you, stacking the hips up the shoulders now. Maybe the arms support the back, or maybe the arms are out straight behind you. As the legs continue to squeeze together, our core is tucked in, we're lengthening through the hips to maintain that natural curve in the spine here in full plow pose or halasana. And these inversions can just feel wonderful if you have a lot of stress and strain. I love to do these after we have a lot of tension from studying. All right, pull those legs in now. Come all the way down, rocking side to side. And just a quick note on these inversions where the hips are above the heart. We like to do at least one or two of these at the end of practice because they have been shown to improve sleep, help with insomnia, help with digestion, circulation. Some people even say they help with headaches. I know for me, they seem to help with anxiety and stress. Something about the control that's required to do an inversion is really powerful for centering the mind. All right, let's go ahead and end with a nice gentle knee twist. So rock those knees over to one side, looking out over the opposite shoulder. This can also feel really nice for your neck and shoulders if you hold tension there. It can feel great on that spine as well. This is just a very gentle twist. I have my hand on top of the knees to help them stay rooted to the mat. Go ahead and pull those knees up to the other side. That hand can float on top of the knees as you look out over the opposite shoulder. Just adjusting this stretch however you need so it feels good on that back and shoulders. And breathe. Bring those legs back to center now, stretching out for Shavasana. You can stay with knees up, feet planted if that feels best on the lower back, or extend those legs all the way out. Close the eyes, begin to relax the arms and legs. The next 5 minutes we're going to devote to a little autogenics exercise, bringing our mind to different areas in the body to help us further relax and experience the benefits of Shavasana after our practice. Begin by bringing your attention to your right arm. Make your right hand into a fist and tense up your arm as tight as you can on your next inhale. The more you breathe in, the more tense that arm becomes. Exhale, relax the arm, relax the wrist. Feel your arm growing heavy and sinking down into your mat. The next inhale, tensing up the left arm into a fist, super, super tight. Exhale, let it all release, let it out. The left arm is now very heavy, sinking into the mat. Inhale, tensing up your whole upper body, your core, your back, your neck, your face. Super, super tight. Exhale, relaxing your back, your shoulders, your neck, your face. Notice your jaw relaxing, that space between your eyebrows relaxing, the neck and shoulders growing heavy and sinking into your mat. The lower back as well is softening, letting go. The next inhale, tensing up your right leg, your whole leg and your foot, everything engaged, super, super tight. Exhale, feel your right leg relax and grow heavy, sinking into your mat. Inhale, left leg, super, super tight, every muscle tense and engaged. Exhale, relax. Sometimes there's muscles in our body that are tense, so we don't realize are tense. And by engaging the muscles around those tight places, then when we relax, it's subconsciously telling all the muscles to relax with the muscles that are letting go. So one last deep breath, we're going to tense up the whole body. Visualize every single muscle in your whole body engaged and flexed. And now exhale, visualize every muscle on your body, letting go, relaxing, even those places that you tend to hold postural tension. So feel the shoulders, the neck, the hips, any places where you tend to carry tension, also relaxing with the rest of your body. Your whole body is feeling so heavy now, so peaceful, melting down into your mat with every exhale. And you find on your next inhale a soft smile crossing your face, noticing the peace that comes with allowing yourself to relax into the present moment. Now repeat in your mind 3 more times with your next 3 breaths your intention for today's class. And take the next few moments to just notice how peaceful the mind feels in this present moment. You might imagine yourself on a beautiful green hill, looking up at the clouds above. And as thoughts come through your mind, visualize that those thoughts are the clouds floating above. Whatever might pass through your mind, you recognize it. Perhaps you label it if it's a thought of anxiety or a thought of planning or a memory, thinking about something that has already happened. Label each thought and allow it to pass. noticing that there is a deep inner self that exists beyond our thoughts. This inner self is always conscious, always present in the moment, taking in sensory details about how it feels to be laying on your mat resting, how it feels to be breathing, and notice the deep, profound peace that is here on this green hill as you watch all thoughts and memories pass by and remain connected to this inner, conscious, aware self. We're practicing a powerful principle of meditation here, recognizing that there is a space between what we think and feel and how we react to it, and also taking the time to be a silent observer of our thoughts. Oftentimes people will think they can't meditate because they can't keep their mind free of thoughts, when in reality, sometimes we meditate and our mind will be rushing with thoughts and ideas, and sometimes our mind will be calm. And our job is not to control the thoughts or to force them out. Our job is just to notice, to remain a silent observer in the present, and not to get caught up and lost in our thoughts. For this reason, we visualize the thoughts as clouds and we let them pass, not jumping on any thought and getting carried away with it, but recognizing it, allowing it to pass, noticing what it tells us. Take the next 3 minutes to just breathe and be in this peaceful place, noticing if thoughts happen to pass by, or beautiful spaces of blue sky when perhaps there are no thoughts, just enjoying the breath. Slowly begin to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Take a few more deep breaths to slowly wake yourself back up. Rolling over to your favorite side if you'd like. Taking one last breath here before you come all the way back up to sitting. And as you come all the way up, perhaps you take a few final breaths with the eyes closed, noticing how good you feel to have taken this time for your body and mind and spirit. Slowly opening the eyes. The light within me recognizes the light within you. The spirit and that which is good in me recognizes that which is good in you. Thank you for this shared time together. Namaste.